Hello. Hello, can folks hear me? So my name is Amritha. I am the... Why don't we get everyone... Yeah, we're going to work on it. Hey, thank you all so much for joining us today. My name's Amritha. I'm the state manager for the Human Rights Campaign here in Michigan. I have worked on campaigns in 7 states over the past few years, working to get Democrats and pro-equality candidates elected up and down the ballot. And I am so excited to be back in my home state of Michigan to flip the 8th Congressional District. This is really an amazing community, and we know that we have the equality voters here to flip the 8th and to flip Congress. And so we are so excited to support such a great candidate like Elissa, and it's so exciting to see all of y'all here today. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to HRC's president, Chad Griffin, who is here to talk to us about why it's so important to mobilize equality.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Amritha, and thank you all for being here today. I know for most of you this is not your first time here, and I know it's not going to be your last time. We have 35 more days until this election. 35 days, 4 hours, 3 minutes, and 2 seconds. Not that anyone is counting. I don't have to tell you all how high the stakes are in this election. You know, as I travel this state and travel the country, it's not always the case that there are such stark differences between 2 candidates. And in this race, and in this district, there could not be greater differences. On the one side, you have someone who has stood up time and time again for the values that we all believe in, of treating everyone equally and with dignity. Won't stand up for the equal treatment of LGBTQ people, in fact, is on the other side. Won't stand up to protect the Affordable Care Act and ensure that everyone in this district, everyone in this state, and everyone in this country has access to affordable health care. Instead, has worked to undermine it, has voted against it. On the other side, we have a candidate that throughout her career has stood up for the values that we all believe in, has stood up for the equal dignity and the equal treatment of every person, regardless of what you look like or who you love. But you know what else she's done? She has worked at the bipartisan level to protect this country. She has bridged the gap. She has bridged the divide. And wow, don't we need more of that in Washington today? Well, I have never been more excited about the possibilities in this election. We truly have an opportunity here to ensure that everyone in this district and in this state are treated equally under the law. But in order to do that, we have got to have a Congress that will stand up for the values that we all believe in. And we've got to have a pro-equality majority in the House and in the Senate. And guess what? That road goes right through this district. And I know that none of you want to wake up the day after this election asking ourselves, could I have knocked on one more door? Could I have made one more phone call? Could I have donated $10 more? We don't want to be in that place this time. We want to know that between now and this election, we have knocked on every door, we have made every phone call, and we have donated every dollar we can to ensure that Elissa Slotkin is the next member of Congress from this district, representing this great district and this incredible state. You're told this every single election. I look around this room, and some of you have lived through a few elections like I have. Others, it might be your first. You've either heard it your entire life, or I promise you, you'll keep hearing it. This is the most important election of your lives. Well, guess what? This election is actually the most important election of our lives. So join me in welcoming the next member of Congress from the great state of Michigan, Elissa Slotkin.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. This is an awesome turnout. This is an awesome turnout. Thank you for coming on what is a sort of a classic Michigan fall day. Slightly cold. Summer is long gone. I'm extremely proud to be here. I'm extremely proud to be endorsed by HRC. This was something that I sought really early. It's very personal to me. Many of you know that my parents divorced in the 80s, and my mom spent the rest of her life as a gay woman. And it wasn't such an easy thing to do in the 80s. So we've come a long way, but I think it is one of those things where we really have to be sort of asking fundamentally different questions of our lawmakers, right? The question is no longer, is my member of Congress going to vote the right way? The question we have to be asking on all levels is my representative going to fight for my rights? And that's a different person, that's a different type of leader than what we've been electing up till now. So I think what I thought I'd do is just give a little update on the state of the race because we have come a long way in the year that many of you have been involved in this campaign. A year ago, this district was strongly Republican, and we've now come all the way full circle, and we are now listed by all the major agencies as a toss-up. We just did an internal poll. Yeah, sure, you can call that. We just did an internal poll, and we publicized it last week that has us for the first time up 4 points in this district, which is great, but we know that the forces on the other side are not going to give up this seat easily. And so what we saw them do, and I want to make sure we all put this in context last week, is I know many people might have seen the announcement that Paul Ryan's super PAC, CLF, has decided to pull out of the district, right? They took $2 million and they pulled out of the district. But they only did that because the National Republican Party and the Trump super PAC came in for $5 million, okay? So it's good news, but we need to put it in context. They are fighting like heck on the other side of the district in particular, right? The negative ads are coming fast and furious. There's another one out today. And they are going to do all that they can to make sure that they hold on to this seat. I really believe that this election will come down to less than 5,000 votes. I think that all the turnout and all the activism in the area will balance the scales on the gerrymandering, and then it will come down to the field campaign that we run on whether we can flip this district. And if it comes down to less than 5,000 votes, then literally the amount of work we'll do on one volunteer shift can ultimately make the difference on whether we win this race or not. So as Chad was saying, like, let this be the year of no regrets, right? Where we wake up the next morning after the election and say we did everything we possibly could. I also think we have to acknowledge what is going on right now in the country, which is the sense that people have lost their way on dignity, on respect, on integrity. I think people are just desperate for human beings to talk to other human beings in decent and civil ways. And that's what door knocking in particular gives us the opportunity to do. To put all that vitriol aside, put all that stuff coming out of the media and out of Washington aside, and allow one conversation between two human beings to be the front face of this campaign. And there, when you have that one-on-one conversation, that's where we are all reasonable, good-hearted Michiganders, right? The same Michiganders we all grew up with. Not all the vitriol coming from Washington that's tearing us apart, but the opportunity to unite by having a simple conversation, and people are craving it, right? We learned during the primary we weren't getting to as many doors as we wanted to get in an hour, and so we said, why? Why is that happening? And it's because when we had a conversation with someone, it went on and on and on, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because people want to talk to their neighbors. They want to have a conversation about how we heal in this country. So I really believe, and I wouldn't be here otherwise, that we cannot change Congress unless we change who we send to serve there. It will take a new generation of leaders who think differently, who work harder, and who never forget that they are public servants, right? Our leaders have forgotten that they are public servants and they have a mission to do, and that mission is helping people improve their lives. So I couldn't be more proud to be here. I'm thrilled for everyone who's willing to put in their sweat equity to help us win this race. It makes a huge difference, and let's go out and flip this darn district, okay?